How often are you recording podcasts?
We just started. We just started last week, and yeah, I'll give you more background on what we're building and who we're talking to and the purpose of the conversation and everything like that.
Yeah, nice. 1 second. Let me change the camera.
Cool.
Bup, bup, bup. I think I have to leave and rejoin, so I'm just going to rejoin.
All right, cool.
All right, great. I think I'm using the right camera now. I
Perfect.
can't hear you though.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you. Let's see.
Testing.
I'm so sorry, guys. You're live. Okay, cool, perfect. Sorry to interrupt you. Okay.
Yeah, I can't hear Pat. Can you hear Pat?
Damn, can you hear me?
I can hear Pat. Yeah, I can hear him. Can you hear him
No, I can't hear Pat.
at all?
At all. I can hear you. It's kind of weird.
Let's fix that.
Yeah, let me try.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just on another call. Hey, sorry, give me 2 minutes. By the way, I'm just on another call.
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure this out. So what's happening here? You cannot hear Pat.
I can't hear Pat. I can hear you.
Okay, Pat, why don't you try rejoining?
Okay, here. All right, I'm leaving.
What's wrong with my camera? Sorry. What's up, dude? We should catch up a lot soon, but I've just been busy. AGI House is having a dinner. Did you get invited?
Me?
Now?
You should go. I'll send you a link. Can you hear Pat now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There.
I'm gonna hop off, guys. You guys
All
do
right.
your thing. But it's on the live, right? It's on the other Google account, right? The live for like the AI account, whatever. Like you're live on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm live. I'm live on YouTube.
Okay, I'll share that with the team. Good luck with the interview, guys. I'm looking forward to listening in. Yeah, Michael is super dope. So yeah.
Thanks for the intro. Appreciate you.
Thanks for the intro. How long you been out in San Francisco?
I'm from here, so basically my entire life. I think for a brief period at the beginning of my life, I was in San Francisco, but for the part of it that I can remember, I've been here.
Cool. Where did you go to high school?
Lowell.
Oh, you went to Lowell. My grandfather went to Lowell.
Your grandfather went to Lowell.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did he make something of himself? What happened after the Lowell education? Did
he was a police officer for like 40 years.
Really? My girlfriend is applying to be a police officer right now.
I know a lot of police officers in San Francisco.
Really? How do they like it? Is it good?
They love it. They've been doing it for like 10, 15 years. Yeah, incredible benefits. Yeah, they've got a great community. Yeah.
I kind of pressured my girlfriend to do police in San Francisco. I was like, you don't understand how good this pays and how good of a job this is. I was like, this is like one of the best things in the world. I do think a lot of people get frustrated by the paperwork, but other than that, like, it's just like you earn more than a software engineer. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. They pay them so well. Let me know if you need an intro or anything. I have seriously so many guys and girls that I could.
I don't know. Does it help? I honestly know very little about the police process.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a networking thing or something.
Is it like YC? Is it like you need a
YC? Yeah, YC exactly.
We invited you to our interview. Tell me your moat.
Yeah, exactly. Little demo day.
Yeah, a little demo day. Let's see you deadlift. Actually, the process is not that different from YC, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. She's like in the end stages right now, so it's like kind of reminiscent. Oh, fun fact, kind of like off topic, but like I got into YC today.
You kidding?
Yeah, but not for me. So let me explain. I applied with a team to YC approximately like a month and a half ago, and they got in, but I withdrew to work on StarClaw. So I have a successful YC application under my belt.
And you're not going to pursue it.
I mean, I withdrew from the team, and
Okay.
yeah. Plus, like StarClaw has me too busy, so they're great. They're good friends. I'm very, very, very happy for them. They just went mega viral on Twitter for their announcement, so they've got like 300 posts about them. But yeah, so it's really funny. We recorded last minute, in like some tea shop, and our battery kept dying, and then we were just like, okay, that's our application. Let's hope it works.
And it worked.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, so I want to get into Setup Claw. Let me first just tell you a little bit the purpose of our interview series, and then I want to start from the beginning, hear more about your background, and then we'll get into all the specifics. But yeah, just to give you a little context, we are building a platform called Vibin.live, which is a learning and social platform for AI builders. And we've been talking to people in the space just about how they got into building, what they're working on, and probably most importantly for our audience is what they're learning along the way. So we'd love to just first start with your background, take us back, tell us a little bit about who you are and just how you got into all of this.
Yeah, so I've been doing AI consulting for a while, ever since I was at Cal. So I was just like helping companies with AI back in the GPT-3 era. So back in the GPT-3 era, companies didn't know what to make of the stuff, and then I was just like advised them. That said, I was a terrible contractor. I didn't make any money. I was severely underpaid. And then I did like a little bit of software engineering, contracting, and this whole time I was just building my own tools. Like my whole thought in college was like, kind of screw school. If I'm going to be successful, it's going to be because of something I've built. And then just at some point, I got into DevRel, which is like developer relations and developer tool marketing. And I worked at a couple companies for that. So I was just marketing developer tools. And my goal was to become really, really, really good at marketing. But I was still building out my own projects during this time, but none of them were particularly successful. A lot of them failed. A lot of them were really bad ideas. Some of them were good ideas that I didn't execute enough on. And then around a few months ago, one of my projects popped off, right? Just like did extremely well, went from 0 to 1 basically. And in that same month, another project started getting a lot of traction. That project is Rent My Header, which is like a Twitter marketplace. And at the same time, Setup Claw went viral, right? Which was I basically tweeted that I'll go around San Francisco in a Lime scooter and install OpenClaw for people. So it was a crazy, crazy month. I went from like 0 in revenue to like suddenly, hundreds of thousands of dollars in pipeline, and tens of thousands of dollars a month coming in. And I was working full time. So very quickly, it like turned out that working full time while doing this is not going to work at all. So I was, basically started focusing on these projects full time. And for Setup Claw had the highest potential, in my opinion. It was a very pure agency. I was just helping people, but I was helping them not in the best way because I didn't have the tools I needed to help them. They didn't actually need OpenClaw on their own Mac Minis. They needed something like OpenClaw that is like very stable in the cloud, right? So I partnered with my now co-founder, who had been talking to for a while at that point, and he basically had software for hosting OpenClaw, and it was super terrible at the time. It was really, really bad. But we were chatting about it, and we decided to kind of join forces and create really good software for hosting OpenClaw. So now that's kind of where we're at this point. We have, StarClaw, which is, our service, our SaaS. We have Setup Claw, which is our agency, which is still doing well, but is slightly less of a focus. And we raised our prices, so we weren't like completely overwhelmed with that agency, which we were. At some point, my calendar was like completely booked, 12 hours a day. That was terrible. Maybe not 12 hours a day, but I think I had 25 to 30 back-to-back meetings one day, and that was just unsustainable. And the solution to that was just like massively raising the prices. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I have this agency, and this agency is feeding into the SaaS. We still do some manual setups. We still do some, more sophisticated setups for enterprises. But yeah, most of the effort is going into the SaaS and making the SaaS really, really good.
Hmm. Cool. You mentioned some bad ideas, some good ideas that you didn't execute on.
Yeah.
What is it to you? How can you tell when something's worthy of going 0 to 1, or something has gone 0 to 1? Is there a heuristic that you have? Is there a science? Is it just intuition?
I think it's intuition at this point. I've been building for a while, and there's been many, many cases when you'd have some idea, and then you're thinking about it. It keeps you up in the middle of the night. But there was a time before when building an idea requires significant effort, right? And I've been working full time for the last 2.5 years. So you kind of have to pick your battles carefully, right? So a lot of battles I ended up not picking and kind of regretted it because I would see someone else succeed with them, right? And I'd spend too much time thinking and not enough time doing.
Mm.
The process for me now is figuring out what is the minimum version of this that can tell me more information, right? It's not about the project succeeding. It's about, can I have some kind of information that I gain from this? Because if you're gaining information, then you know how to deploy your most precious resource, which is your time, more effectively. For example, if you launch a project, the project isn't in a state where it actually gives you enough information about whether people will like it because it's not good enough, then it's just not worth it, right? But if you're building a project and it does give you some information, it's extremely valuable. An example is Setup Claw. Setup Claw was just a tweet. It was no website, but it didn't need a website because it's an agency, right? It's an agency service. It's kind of viral. It was the right place at the right time. So tweeting about it gave me a massive amount of information about the demand, right? And now we have even more information about the demand because we see, a bunch of other services like it. Like there was some 15-year-old that got 30K in contracts doing the same thing in one day, right? So clearly there's a massive amount of demand here, and we see it ourselves. Like we see it from our inbound. And for StarClaw, we see it because customers are extremely satisfied and we see how they're using it. So we're getting a lot of information there. And I think we have a bit of an informational advantage just because we've talked to more customers than anybody else. Like I just spent weeks and weeks just talking to customers before we even had a decent product, right? So now we have a decent product that's going to get like 100 times better still. But yeah, I still really think about, okay, what is the version of this that gives you some kind of new information? For example, I have a project launching soon, which is really cool in my opinion. And I don't know whether it will succeed or not, but I'm trying to get it to the state where I could release it and send it to some people and get some feedback on it and know whether it's kind of a waste of time or something that could potentially have some kind of impact. Maybe like get us some leads for StarClaw, or maybe be an individual project that sees some success in some way.
And that is it largely qualitative, as in you're just listening to people's words or their reactions?
You want quantitative feedback more than qualitative feedback. So when you're building a product, right, you need to know what people actually want. And the best way to do that is, A/B tests or some kind of metrics in Posthog. You like link up Posthog to your project. You see what users are actually clicking. You see what they're actually doing, right? That's the ideal metric because you have actual numbers. You know whether they're clicking a button to use, some feature, right? And now with AI, we could ship features very quickly. But the question is like, what features should you keep? The answer now is, hey, ship the feature. If people like it, kill it. If people don't like it, don't kill it. Make the feature good enough that you get some information instead of like, if it's shitty, no one will use it, right? That's kind of how I think about it in like the later stages. In the starting stages, I really like projects that have some inherent virality and have the ability to grow fast naturally. That said, sometimes things are a slow burn. Sometimes things take literal years to pay off. As with the first project that paid off in the last 3 months, I've been working on it for the last 3 years, and I expected nothing out of it. But it went from 0 to 1, at the beginning of this year. So it was just this very, very slow payoff that I didn't expect. But I was too great. The sunk cost was so high. I had like people offering to buy it, for reasonable amounts of money. And then I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think too about, you mentioned just how easy it is to build products now. What about, you're talking about features too. What about features on top of those products? We talked to a gentleman, Francois, last week about how it's so tempting now to just add feature after feature after feature to your product. How do you kind of handle that and make decisions? I know you mentioned, connecting post-hog and making those quantitative decisions, but is there anything else that you do to kind of avoid the temptation of just building out feature after feature, because now it is so easy to do, and just focus more on the core product?
Yeah, it's a mistake, in my opinion, to build a focus too much on the features and ignore the core functionality of your product. Because the users are usually there for one thing, right? So you want to make sure you do that thing extremely well,
Mhm.
and focusing on that one thing is probably more important than any tangential features that you build.
Mm.
That said, one feature that you build can 2x, 3x your product, right? So you want to
Mm.
focus on features that have that kind of potential and focus less on features that don't. A good example is Stephen Tay with Dub.co, right? Dub.co started as really good link tracking software, right? So it was like a link shortener. It was really, really good. It gave you analytics, let you customize your links, and it saw some success, right? But then he started doing affiliate tracking, right? Suddenly
Mm.
his revenue, 10x. I don't know the exact numbers, but this was kind of a different direction. He had this like original infrastructure from link tracking that really helped, but it's kind of a completely new direction for him, right?
Mm.
He basically decided, hey, like we need a big bet, and that big bet paid off. Now he's
Yeah.
moving into more products, and these other products are doing extraordinarily well as well. And we actually don't know whether affiliates are going to be the thing that gets him, to 10 to 100 million ARR. So that's kind of how I think about it. If you
Mhm.
can get a feature that can 5 to 10x your product, you should definitely try it. You should at least get it to the point where you can try and measure it. It's the same thing for Wrap My Header. Wrap My Header started as a platform for you to rent someone's header, right?
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
turned out to be a really bad idea for many, many reasons. Like it's just too hard for brands to spend enough money. Like maybe it can like go and make like 2 to 5K a month, but like that doesn't interest anyone involved. It's too much work. Um, then we added campaigns, and campaigns. The idea that brands can like create campaigns with CPMS and get some results, that really hit hard. And that's where a
Mm.
lot of our recent growth started. Suddenly we have, 9-figure enterprises in pipeline, right? So it's kind of like you have to think about features as like less as, okay, one-off things are good. Maybe they improve retention. You should do them if they're easy, but more of, can you make your core product, the thing people are there for, better, measurably better? And
Mhm.
can you think of something that can 3 to 5x your product? Because
Mm.
there probably is something that can 3 to 5x your product, especially if you have some existing traction. If you're starting from zero, then it's a bit of a different issue.
Yeah. What is that one thing that is, and it might be obvious just based on the name, but maybe you have a more unique answer, embedded into Setup Claw and into Startup Claw? What's the core what's the core feature that you guys are selling?
Yeah, I think one big thing is automations. So I don't think anybody's doing automations quite well, making
Mm.
it easy enough for people to automate their entire businesses. I do think StartClaw at this point is very lucky to be building on top of somebody like OpenClaw. I don't know whether we will continue building on it long term. We may have to build our own harness, but OpenClaw innovated enough in so many different areas that it became almost a new capability, right? So we didn't have to, do too much to give users this new capability. We just need to give them an interface that makes it harder to mess up, right?
Mm.
Makes it clear, okay, what models are they using? This is make sure they don't like have too many costs, have some tracking on this kind of stuff. So yeah, we're kind of building on top of OpenClaw, but long term, you can make the system much better, right? And we're
Mhm.
still only a month old. So right now we're depending on OpenClaw quite heavily, but longer term we have like a few advantages. One
Mm.
is we have like a very deep understanding what SMBs and what founders need from this kind of system, so we can start building out workflows. Two, we have a very particular vision around growth and how we could grow this into like a successful product. I think that's another major advantage that we have.
Mm.
And three, we have a very deep understanding of OpenClaw, and
Mm.
it's like it's many problems and what it does well and what it doesn't well. Like I read the OpenClaw documentation on stream for 2 hours the other day, right?
I
It's
thought.
yeah, really. um yeah, that live lobster was way too expensive, but worth it. But I still have the costume, so that's gonna pay off later. But yeah, so it's like we have these like this very specific experience. And I think my co-founder has this experience of doing offshore operations as well and offshoring,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
which gives us a bit of an advantage when building out a product. That said, our product is still not at the point where it's like 10 to 100x better than anything else people have seen right now. It's just OpenClaw. And that seems to
Mm.
be enough, at least now. Right now, there's not even enough products that, just run OpenClaw under the hood well enough. We also have a very opinionated way we're running OpenClaw,
Mm.
um, which is Composio with MC Porter, which is like kind of our secret sauce. I think any, relatively capable group building on OpenClaw will reach the same conclusion that this is the right way to go. But yeah, that's been massive because we actually let people integrate their, you know, tools well in a reason in a reasonable amount of time and be able to manage it internally. And that's been really big for us because
Mm.
once customers start integrating all their things, that's when they start to see the power.
Yeah.
But that's not a long-term mode. Long term, we have much bigger things planned.
You want to share any of this? Or is it too early?
No, I can share. I think long term, uh, we have to think about it from an enterprise perspective a little bit. It would be very important to have these scopes and permissions, and these things are nobody has really figured out exactly what that will look like. But we have some idea based on the enterprises we've talked to, where enterprises will create these AI employees. Well, they need to share them in a scoped way with their actual employees, with their team.
Mm.
That's one major thing. Another thing is that in the future, every single agent is going to have the ability to, have its own email, have its own, obviously its own files, but also like a very powerful stealth browser, be able to log in everywhere, have its own wallet, be able to build and deploy websites. These websites also need scope permissions for your
Mm.
team. So it's like kind of our understanding is, hey, someone's going to have to build out a lot of infrastructure, and it's going to be a lot of work, but we have an understanding of what that work is going to be. And the goal is basically to get to the point for most human tasks, most things that I want to automate. I'm not going into, some kind of dashboard somewhere. I'm not going to Stripe dashboard. I'm just
Mm.
going in Telegram or, the chat and telling it what I need, right? And it should be able to access it, right? No matter what the automation is. So it's a very ambitious vision. Everybody's moving in this direction. We see more and more competitors like coming up every day, but it's a very sophisticated product in terms of UX,
Mhm.
engineering, and kind of vision as well. And I think it'll come down to like who can execute the best.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you guys have a strategic advantage with just your information moat, like you talked about, because you've already done the legwork, you've done the hard work that AI can't replicate of talking to business owners and hearing about their opinions. And then secondly, just having that network too. So now you have a network to tap into. If you guys do launch something like this, it's a much quicker iteration process if you're able to share this with enterprise businesses and see what's sticking, what's not.
Yeah, and we also have a marketing mode. I'm very good at
Mm.
marketing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, once we get a product that gets to a certain level where we're able to scale, like to, I don't know, thousands of businesses, that's where I'm going to have most of my fun. Like, I can't
Yeah.
wait to get to that point. Right now, we're working with like businesses one-on-one. And, if we scaled to, 100 more businesses next week, it'd be a terrible time for everybody involved. But so we're like slowly accepting businesses while we build. But once we get to that point where we've built that base. I
Uh-huh.
just really want to put fuel on the fire. I am itching. I'm itching because once you have a product like this in a completely new category,
Mhm.
it's kind of easy to market because everybody needs the product,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And there's like a bit of a fatigue because there's many options maybe. But first of all, most options are bad because people don't know how to build good products. People might think that they do because of AI, but they don't actually know how to build good products.
Mhm.
And secondly, because the best marketers, like having a lean team of good marketers, is a massive advantage at this point.
Mhm.
This is kind of like why Lovable and Firecrawl are so successful. Yes, their product was good, but they were really, really good at marketing. They were so much better than everybody else. And I think people underappreciate, yes, they were like at the right place at the right time, but they're also world class at marketing. Really good. Like you could
Mhm.
study their stuff and see that it was very organized and bound to happen based on what they were doing.
Mhm.
But of course, the
What
product.
exactly. What about their marketing stood out to you? What were you kind of pulling inspiration from?
I think both were very good at specifically LinkedIn marketing. I think they were extremely good at founder-led LinkedIn marketing. I think
Mm.
that's a big thing. They're also very good at getting their entire team to market. They have their entire team, their engineers uh, included, amplifying all of their posts, which is very, very good. But all of them were able to expand past LinkedIn and Twitter. So they were able to eventually build that base, some revenue base, right, with Twitter and LinkedIn, which is the easiest surface to grow your product to a certain point. And then they were able to expand to YouTube, TikTok, short form media, where the market is much bigger,
Mhm.
right? So like they were just excelled at every single point. They excelled from the 0 to 1 with Twitter and LinkedIn, and then they excelled at the 1 to 50, which is everything else, right?
Mhm.
So my personal experience has been with like Twitter and LinkedIn, but at some point you like kind of exhaust those and you get really good at them and you need to move off, and
Mhm.
that's where it's even more fun because the opportunity is really high, and then you have this like whole high skill activity of doing short form media, turning it into paid ads and scaling that way.
Yeah.
This is kind of like what Base 44 does. Base 44 is just got bought by I forget who. What is it? Some established website building company.
Wix,
Web
I think.
Wix, and then they just scaled with paid ads. They were just
Uh,
very better than anyone else at paid ads, right?
yeah. Interesting.
And the product was good, but it still kind of looks vibe coded, you know? It still like looks a little vibe coded if we're being honest with ourselves. Like it's like good. It's like a very good product now. It used to be not good.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, they were not the first in the category, but at all. They were not the best. Like they were got to like some very serious revenue originally, but not world class marketing. I think it was
Mhm.
good, but it was not insane. And then with the right, resources, they were able to scale to a venture scale outcome. So I kind of think a mix of what Lovable and Firecrawl are doing, and then also something like Base 44 as well is
Mhm.
kind of what I want to achieve here. And you can only do that with a very specific kind of product, right?
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
product that has it, you know, is kind of in a new category where the
Yeah.
TAM is very, very large, where there's a lot of opportunity in building, um, a product that no one else has, where you have this like kind of new type of team where everybody has like some kind of social media presence as well as being an engineer, and where you could take lots of shots on goal in marketing, and as long as your product is good and it converts, it's kind of starts this flywheel of money.
Mhm.
And once you start this flywheel, I think it's the potential is very high. Like again, the precedent here is you need a really good product in a decently high TAM area.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Cool. Um, Switching gears a little bit, I know you're still doing Rent My Header. I think you're still involved with DevRel jobs too, and then DevRel jobs, and then but you know you got four different types of businesses. How are you balancing everything?
Yeah. 1 second. It looks like I have a meeting right now.
Oh,
That's
do you? Okay.
dinner.
I forgot we're only going 30. Yeah.
This is actually a pretty big. Yeah, sorry about that. I rescheduled to 1:45, so let's just do that. Boom.
Okay. Yeah. No, we can just we can quickly wrap up in the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's fine. I rescheduled, so it's okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were saying, sorry, we might have to cut this out, but we'll see. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. No, I was just talking about balance. How are you balancing all this?
The truth is, right now, the first project is kind of taking care of itself, and it's just like bringing in revenue for everything else, which is very lucky. Doesn't require too much work for me. Rent My Header is kind of taken care of by my co-founder Shrish there, and he takes care of all the clients. So I don't do much there as either. I kind of like more lead, strategy and focus, and kind of like supply the engineers there. But most of all my time is basically on StarClaw right now. It's yeah, it's just like maybe 80 hours a week on StarClaw, maybe 90, maybe more, and then maybe I spend a couple hours a week on everything else. Just maybe vibe coding, maybe just messaging the engineers, talking to them, and then talking to Shrish. But I'm kind of able to take the back seat there a little bit because they're kind of working by themselves. Like Shrish is able to get clients for Rent My Header. He's able to have campaigns succeed. He's now like PMing engineers. So I did a lot of the original work, the infrastructure to build that out. But I'm a little scared that Rent My Header has a lot of potential, and if I don't give it enough attention, I'm afraid it'll kind of die out and not reach it. But you have to sacrifice something, right? You have to sacrifice. You have to kind of hope it will work out, and if it doesn't, it's no big deal. Like you did your best, and you got some more information with it, and you got the product to the point where you're like, okay, like this can work out if you wanted it to. It just might not be worth it to put in the time.
Sure.
But that said, I think it will work out. I think it will work out with relatively little effort for me, which may be extremely naive.
Yeah. That's great though. Okay, so 90 hours a week on StarClaw. What are you? Where's the majority of your time being taken up? Is it content?
It's mostly meetings.
Yeah.
So I have, at least for the last 2 weeks, I've been averaging maybe 10 hours of meetings a day. Maybe not 10 hours. Some of these are blocked off non-meetings, but maybe 6 to 8 hours of meetings. That leaves very little time for everything else. We have an engineering team to manage. We have investor stuff to do. We have lots of different tasks. At some point, it actually was 10 hours or more of meetings a day, which is kind of crazy. Now it's a little less, which is good. But yeah, it's mostly meetings, preparing for meetings, dealing with clients, helping clients, doing actual setups. That's the biggest thing. By meetings is like intro meetings plus doing setups, because we still onboard every single customer that signs up. So
yeah, I think that's like it's a really good lesson in there for folks that are building, that you think you need to be in the product 12 hours a day, whatever, building out features, building out the product as a whole. And maybe you do at some point, but at some point it does need a switch, or you need to find someone to take that over so you can do this kind of like CEO role stuff, which is exactly like what you're talking about. Which is talking to people, doing these discovery calls, hearing those insights to help inform the product.
100%. I think it's important to take these meetings originally, but eventually we're going to hire an AE to take a lot of them, especially with like the lower value meetings, which there are many of. There are many meetings that are no shows, that are a waste of time, that just someone else can take, or I could train someone else to take them. and then maybe I'll have 1 or 2 hours of meetings a day. Because as a founder, there's more important things you could do than meetings at some point. Once you like get this, do the initial hard step, just talking to a bunch of people, you
Hmm.
actually don't want to be in meetings all day. It's just too distracting from the core thing, which is the product. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so it's very, very hard to do product and marketing, but product and marketing and meetings is too much. That's why you have co-founders, right? But
Hmm.
we're all context switching too much, which we have to at this point because there's only two of us, right? And like a couple engineers. But eventually, you do want to pay people to take those tasks over, right? So, for example, like the best founders are not in meetings for 5 hours a day.
Hmm.
It's too much. It's like you're not able to work on the product. And if the
Hmm.
product is really good, you may not need all these meetings. People might just convert without a meeting, right? People might find success without a meeting, right? It's somewhat of a product issue that I'm in these meetings, right? And I'm kind of compensating for a product that is not able to speak for itself
Hmm.
by taking these meetings, right?
Hmm.
It's a temporary like half measure, but it is important because it brings those original relationships with customers
Yeah. Yeah.
that are invaluable, right? So
Yeah.
we are very close with all our customers right now. I take most of the original meetings, me and my co-founder with them, so they like know our team very well. We're in Slack. We hop on a call if they ever need help. So we're at the stage where like our early customers get a lot from us personally, much more than they pay for, but we
Hmm.
benefit just as much because we kind of
Yeah.
like are able to support this early cohort extremely well. And then once we're built for scale, then we can scale out and offer a bit less support, but a product that requires maybe a little less support.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I know we only have 5 minutes. I'll end it with this last question. For someone building, who's watching this, who wants to start building with AI, wants to just launch something, or even just to get into it, but they feel that intimidation factor. Maybe they're not technical. Maybe they're not good marketers. What would you tell them?
I think they can probably vibe code themselves to success if they ask the right questions. I think if and it takes a while, right? Most people will not succeed on the first run. So you have to put reps in. You have to put reps in on the marketing, you have to put reps in on building products. I do recommend there is like some technical understanding behind it as well. Like that'll really help um, with the confidence as well.
Hmm.
You want to be able to confidently build products. I think that's the biggest thing. You can only build a confidence by having a lot of reps in and succeeding at least partly in these reps. And then once you build the confidence, things are much easier because you kind of know what will happen when you build a product, and you kind of
Hmm.
like have some understanding of like, okay, these are the things that can go badly, these are the things that can go well. And then once you have the confidence, like it's fine, right? This is the same reason like um, founders who are like raising for the second time, even if their first company failed, are much more confident. They've done it before. They don't have to approach it with a place of uncertainty and fear. It's the same thing with building products. Like, hey, like you come in, you build things, you have some understanding. Okay, like if I do this and market it this way, I'll have some success there. If I like, this is how I'll know whether the product is good or bad. These are the tools I'm going to be using to build the product. This is like what a successful outcome will look like. You just need to put the reps in,
Yeah.
right? And it's a very high skill activity. It's an extremely high skill activity. Like, I mean, I wrestled for a long time in high school, and if I put like 1,000 or 2,000 hours more into it, I would have been more successful for sure. It's the same with building products. I've like been building products basically nonstop outside of work for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. It took me much longer to start seeing any kind of success than most of my peers that were
Hmm.
building in the same space. Most of my peers in college, at least in the circles I were in, were able to build successful products while still in college, right? I wasn't able to do so, right? So it just took a very intense focus and lots of failures for me to reach it. I do think with AI, just you need more, you can take more shots on goal so you
Hmm.
can achieve this kind of success faster. I think most people have some kind of like, thing that they know that other people don't, that allows them to like, if they actually like take shots and finish projects, to learn fast enough to succeed at some point.
Yeah, it's great. Great way to end it.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you. This was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I know you're a busy guy, so thank you for making the time. And yeah, we'll send you, if we clip this or anything, we'll send you clips. And yeah, definitely want to be in touch.
Thank you. I wish I could stay for longer, but I have another meeting right now, and let's definitely stay in touch.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're ever in San Francisco, let me know. So
yeah, I'll be back home. Yeah, pretty often. So I'll hit you up for sure.
Let's do it. Really nice to meet you, man. I hope we get a little bit more talk after the pod. But
all right, thanks again, Michael. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.